The sun had barely risen when 32-year-old single dad Evan Miller stumbled out of bed, rubbing his eyes and trying to convince himself he was ready for another long day. His daughter, 6-year-old Mia, had kept him up half the night with a fever, and now he was running late for work. All he wanted was a quick shower before waking her up for school, but when Evan opened the bathroom door he froze. Curled up on the floor, arms wrapped tightly around her knees, was a woman he had never seen before. Her hair was messy, her clothes were damp, and her eyes, wide, panicked, and shimmering with tears, shot up to meet his. Evan's heart slammed in his chest. A stranger was in his home in his bathroom at 6 a.m. Before he could speak, the woman whispered, voice trembling, please. I'm not here to hurt you. I just needed a place to breathe. And in that moment, everything about Evan's morning changed. Before we continue, if you love emotional stories about real human kindness, make sure to subscribe to Kindness Diaries, hit like, and tell us in the comments what kindness means to you. Your support helps us bring more heartwarming stories to life. Evan stood there speechless, gripping the doorframe, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The woman looked exhausted, scared, even. She didn't look dangerous. She looked broken. Finally, Evan found his voice. Ma'am, who are you? And how did you get in here? The woman wiped her cheek with the back of her hand and took a shaky breath. My name is Clare Hartman, she said softly. I'm the CEO of Hartman Innovations. But today, I'm just someone who had a really, really bad night. Evan blinked. A CEO sitting on the floor of his small apartment bathroom. Claire continued, her voice cracking. I was at a charity gala last night. Reporters, investors, speeches, pressure, so much pressure. When I left, I just kept driving, trying to get away from everything. My car broke down a block from here. I thought I was going to faint. The door to your building was unlocked. I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking clearly. I just needed somewhere safe to sit. Evan realized she wasn't lying. She was trembling, like someone who'd been holding herself together for far too long. He exhaled slowly and crouched down to her level. Okay, he said gently. You're safe now. But let's get you out of the bathroom. You look like you need some water. Claire nodded, unable to speak. Evan helped her up and guided her to the small kitchen table. Mia was still asleep in the next room, and the apartment was quiet, warm, ordinary, a sharp contrast to Claire's trembling breaths. Evan poured her a glass of water. She held it with both hands, as if grounding herself. After a moment, she looked up. You're probably wondering why a CEO would end up like this. Evan shook his head. Everyone breaks sometimes. Those words hit her harder than he expected. Her voice softened. You have no idea how much I needed to hear that. Evan didn't ask for details. He didn't push. He didn't judge. He simply sat across from her, listening as she slowly loosened the armor she'd been carrying for years. She told him how her parents had built the company from scratch, how she'd felt obligated to take over, how expectations crushed her every single day. She spoke about loneliness, burnout, and the fear of disappointing everyone. She confessed that last night, she had felt like she was suffocating. Evan understood, maybe not the life of a CEO, but the feeling absolutely. After his wife passed away 3 years earlier, he'd spent night after night pretending he was strong enough, pretending he didn't cry after putting Mia to bed. Pretending he knew how to be a mother and father at the same time. He recognized the look in Claire's eyes. The look of someone who's tired of pretending. Claire, he said softly, it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to ask for help. Her chin quivered. No one ever tells me that, she whispered. Right then, Mia's small voice drifted from the hallway. Daddy. Evan turned. Hey, sweetheart. Did you sleep well? Mia rubbed her eyes and looked curiously at the woman sitting at their table. Who's she? Evan smiled gently. She's a friend who needed a little help this morning. Mia walked over without fear, stood beside Claire, and said with innocent sincerity, it's okay. My daddy helps lots of people. Claire's eyes filled again, this time with something warmer. Evan made breakfast for all three of them. It wasn't anything fancy, scrambled eggs, toast, a few slices of fruit, but Claire ate it like it was the first meal she'd had in days. She watched Mia giggle and swing her legs from the chair, watched Evan gently brush his daughter's hair out of her face, watched the ordinary, simple kindness of a small family trying their best. Something inside her softened. Before leaving, Claire stood by the door and took a long breath. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "You don't even know me." Evan shrugged lightly. "You looked like someone who needed kindness. That's all." Claire hesitated, then said something that made Evan freeze. "Evan, how would you feel about working for me?" He stared at her. "What?" She smiled, a real smile now. "You're patient. Calm. Compassionate. You listen. I need someone like that at Hartman Innovations. Not for business, but for people. For community outreach. For rebuilding programs that help families like yours. I want to do things that matter, Evan. And you reminded me what matters." Evan swallowed hard. He had been struggling financially for years. Working 2 jobs. Trying to keep Mia in school programs. Trying to stay afloat. Claire continued, voice full of emotion. "You gave me kindness when I had nothing to offer in return. Let me give something back." Evan didn't know what to say. He looked at Mia, then at Claire, then at this unexpected moment of hope. Maybe this wasn't an accident. Maybe kindness had brought them together at exactly the right time. Months later, Evan found himself working in a new office surrounded by people whose lives he was changing. Claire had rebuilt the entire outreach department with his guidance. Together, they created programs for single parents, job training for struggling families, and support groups for people dealing with grief and burnout. Claire was healing. Evan was thriving. And Mia, well, she adored Claire like family. All because one morning, a scared